sorry guys, it's time for that scene.
Yep.
This is the one that set Twitter ablaze and showed you who the retards were, like, very clearly.
People defended, and it's ridiculous what people use.
If you think the scene is good, quit. If you're,
It's done. You're over. Stop it. So the stakes are Zemo's little place. We're chilling here with Zemo, Falcon, and Bucky. Unfortunately, Walker knows where they are, and he walks in and he's like, "Hey, enough with this Zemo shit. He's going to prison." And then Falcon's like, "You know what, dude? You don't have any jurisdiction here." Which is funny because it's like, neither do you. So I don't know why you brought that up.
I don't know why jurisdiction comes up in the first place. They're in a foreign country. No one's a citizen there.
I guess you could have... well, this is the weird thing about it, because of the whole, like, contracts with the government, yet also free agent. Does anybody have any say over what Falcon can do? I guess this show likes to believe that no one does. Okay? So, like, even if...
Surely they would, right? Like, if the US government, like, oh, this is a no-fly zone, can't come here. He can't just be like, I'm a free agent. It's like, oh, there's a no-fly zone here. You can't come here.
I'm from Madripoor. Your laws mean nothing to me.
Also, dude, look at Lamar's face right now, by the way. He's just like, what? So yeah, this is the weirdest Walker gets. There's a couple of things that Walker does in this season that are kind of weird, and it's just because the makers wanted him to be evil. He's like, oh, do you want to fight, Falcon? Is that it? Do you want to fight me? It's like, what? What? You know, instead of just being like, no, we're gonna take Zemo, he's like, no, I'll fight you. And then he's like, I guess I need to make it fair, and he puts down the shield. So you almost think for a moment where
I just pulled the scene up. I just pulled it up on Disney Plus. Oh my god.
Yeah. So we put the shield down, and before we could engage with whatever that was gonna be. You saw where his head was, right, guys? He was right about here. And then he realizes someone across the room has appeared with a spear, and so he quickly moves back before the spear would have taken his fucking head off. Now, what the hell?
You don't know anything that's going on, lady. You just nearly killed a guy.
And look at Walker's face. That is the audience. Like, what? Why
I'm
did
like,
you...
what the fuck? Why are you insane? The kind of international incident that this alone will cause.
Hey, Wakandans just killed Captain America while he was on a mission.
An agent of Wakandan royalty attempted to murder Captain America while on foreign soil. Like, are you fucking
While he was
nuts?
trying to apprehend Zemo, who bombed the UN.
Do you understand that, like, this will get the world to hate you? Like, this is nuts. What are you doing, you dumb bitch?
Is that the face of someone who's like, wait, did I fuck up? Was I supposed to do that?
Yeah, yes. You fucked up really, really bad.
Like, uh-oh.
You made one of the biggest fuck-ups that has ever fucked up.
It's the first day on the job.
Immediately after, these lasses walk in, and I like to believe that they were on a little comm thing, and they're like, take the head off Captain America, and we will come in. And she throws the spear, and they walk in like, oh, you missed him. Okay, well, hey. It's fine. How you doing? So, for anybody in chat who's like, what in the hell is happening? The Dora Milaje almost assassinated Captain America for memes, because really they just want to get Zemo. They're like, hey, we want Zemo, which is the same reason he was there, by the way. He was like,
that's fucking insane.
He was like, Zemo needs to be in prison.
Each other.
And then it's almost like a comedic fucking sketch. He walks in like, Zemo needs to go to prison. And Falcon's like, no. And then someone takes his head off and goes, he was right, by the way. Zemo needs to go to prison. Like, okay. So she says, even if he's a means to your end, he's got to go to prison. Time's up.
All right, so we're taking it back to Germany, right? Where he was from, where the world
in jail.
Yeah, where he went to. There was like a trial, and there was a court system, and they took him to Germany to be in prison, and that's where it was decided that he would go.
And T'Challa was the one who apprehended him and brought him to that prison. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yeah, like I think, what is the Wakandan king thinking right now? If he were here, if he was watching this, he'd be tearing his hair out. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Imagine
He's
if
just trying to kill Captain America.
Imagine he gets that phone call. Hey, so how'd your mission go? It's like, oh yeah, good. So we threw a spear at Captain America's head, and he's just like, what the fuck? He just hangs up immediately.
What's remarkable, and it's a point to John Walker, is they nearly killed him, and in response, he's like, okay, clearly, we need to chill out a sec and have a chat.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome of him to do, instead of just pulling his gun and being like, fuck all of you, and shoot
And then
them.
he's like, hey, I'm John Walker, and then they don't say anything. And then it's like, oh, cool. Can we put down the pointy sticks, which is what they are?
Yes.
And then for some reason, Sam is just sitting there, like he's smiling. He's like, oh, you'd rather fight Bucky than these guys. It's like, nah.
No.
and then yeah, he says, you don't have jurisdiction here. And then we get the wonderful line,
the big line, the one that
line.
is infamous. I'm probably gonna butcher it, but she says the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves to be.
Super villain shit right there.
Yeah, like that is, so this is super villain shit is a good way to phrase it. This is what villains say. Unequivocal.
Yeah.
This is what villains say. This is not something that good people say. Bad people say this.
Yeah, if you say it, like, you need to fucking reconsider a lot about who you are and what you value. Like, unironically, if you were in a military or something and you said this shit, that's almost like disqualifying.
That's like people. This has led to wars.
Yes, and it's especially concerning in this context because, like, oh, no. Did you see the other movies? There was a whole thing about this, actually. And I thought part of the theme of this show was to try and shed some not so, I guess, flattering light on imperialism in general. Like, it's kind of like, hey, isn't it bad that people just sort of take stuff that isn't theirs? That was something that show's gunning with. And so these people are just like, yeah, so everything goes according to our will whenever we decide. And so all of us, as, you know, attentive audience members, like, wow, these are clearly the bad guys, even according to the show's sort of thematic undertones and the narrative itself. These are definitely the bad guys. The fucking Marvel Studios official account is like, these guys are badass. Everybody loves them. It's so cool.
Is what the Marvel said. They had the quote, the text over the picture of the Dora Milaje person, and Marvel said, as they should.
As they should.
Completely contradicting multiple movies of their own series specifically.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't even need to look at the real world political implications. It's like, in your own movies, you acknowledge that this is like kind of big-headed and wrong. But the interesting thing is you probably have a lot of people say, oh, well, they're Wakanda. They've got like the best tech and they're the most enlightened. It's like, oh, you mean kind of like what America thinks of themselves as well? And like basically any country, that they're like the best? Why the fuck would that be an excuse to do whatever the fuck you want?
It's like, so what you're saying is they really think they can?
Yeah, basically, they think they have the means to do it, so that they have the right to, which is literally
because they have sharp sticks.
It's world police.
Can't think of anybody else that feels that way, or would feel that way. The big killer for this is that T'Chaka is one of the main proponents of the Accords, which were all about jurisdiction and accountability, and basically these people, to avenge him, are going against the very thing that he was murdered during. Like, it is absolutely hilarious how fucking bonkers this all is. They have no idea what they're doing. And if you could do this in a better way, like you have, if we are redesigning Walker and he's an asshole, he could start this fight, but I'm about to show you what is one of the most offensive acts in the history of superhero movies. Can you see, everyone, can you see that arm? Everybody look at it. It's moving.
Trigger warning.
That arm is moving. Chat, look out. The arm's coming right for you. Oh, so you can see the hand. Oh no, stop it. Oh
no. And I knew by the framing exactly what would happen, and I was like, oh no.
Look, the camera's changed angles.
Is this going to start a fight because she's such a petulant little child?
No.
Oh, we got the medium.
That's a shot.
Oh dear.
I don't know how this happened. Guys, it's all gone wrong. I told you.
I just saw it.
It's not glitching.
Like VLC knew. Dude, it just cuts to one of them flinging through the skies. It's like, what the fuck's happening?
How was she strong enough to kick him across the room? She's strong enough to kick him so hard that he flies into the spear and then jumps totally over him. You're not a super soldier, as John points out later in the scene. But with these
we'll
moves,
talk about all of that.
that was...
So, what I was trying to show, for anybody who's confused in chat, he puts his arm on his shoulder and says, "We got off on the wrong foot," which is one of the most standard American ways of just being like, let us have a chat. Clearly, it's not... Now, well, when you're from different cultures, for example, they go over this in Scary Movie 3, you know, putting... like peeing out of fingers versus grabbing people by the throat and strangling them. These can be cultural differences, okay? You could try and murder someone and you're like, no, this is how we say hello, sorry. When someone puts their hand on your shoulder, you might be from a culture where that means I want to kill you and your entire family. And so it was Walker's mistake.
Right, but... but obviously the incredibly enlightened Wakandans should know that if someone touches you in a non-threatening way, that is not license for you to start fighting to the death like a bunch of fucking barbarians.
Because you see in the next scene that if he hadn't gotten his shield quick enough, he would have been stabbed through the heart by one of them.
There's so many things. You have to go slow-mo for this, right? Because you kind of brought it up already. But the first thing she does is hits him so hard. Like she hits him in the leg, then the face. And this is a Vibranium fucking super spear, by the way. And yeah, he flings into it back first into the Vibranium spear that's on the fucking wall and slams down. That to me is already enough to be like, oh shit, Walker, you okay? Like that would have fucked you up, buddy. Insane, absolutely insane. Remember, she did that because he put his hand on her shoulder. And you know what? Maybe someone in chat, there's someone in there, his name is Larry. He's like, oh yeah, well, you know what, Walker, maybe he shouldn't have overstepped his bounds. That's just a tap, you know? It's a love tap. He's fine, he's gonna be okay. To which we present the next epic moment. This lady does a retarded spin through the air because she's Palpatine, I guess, and then she's like, time to get you. Immediately goes for the kill.
Helicopter nonsense. She tries to kill him.
Look at that.
An outright act of attempted murder on a guy because he touched your arm.
Now,
literal execution goal right there.
Is it possible to do this move like without wires? Can you be in the air and then somehow spin yourself while you're in the air with nothing? How is that even possible?
No. Not something a Jedi would teach you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, this was kind of mind blowing because I was just like, oh my god, if he hadn't grabbed the shield, he'd be dead. Oh my god,
he'd be dead. And you're meant to be the good guys. John Walker didn't try. They tried to kill him with a spear.
And then
punch by this time. I don't think he has. I think all he did was touch the shoulder, and then then they go to kill him.
Unironically, if they just grabbed his arm like Captain Marvel did in that deleted scene, it would have been better.
Oh my god. Here's the thing, this is what they are on the inside. They're these horrific, evil, barbaric monsters. The only language they understand is violence and ferocity.
So,
oh god.
So this gets really funny because she does a jumpy jump over the furniture, and this is a team up move. They're gonna throw the spear at her, like here it comes. She's like, whoop, oh god, that wasn't supposed to happen. Next frame doesn't work very well on VLC right now. I just gotta use my copyright cover.
Well, yeah, she throws it over to her and she catches it as she comes down and starts doing the stupid spinny stuff that they like to do.
Yeah, so...
Like, why do you spin the thing around your neck? Why don't you just stab? Like, you think when people were hunting mammoths, could you imagine them doing these crazy moves, ninja flips over it?
Yeah, in case you guys couldn't see it, she threw that at this one who was jumping over all the furniture to grab. It's like, you could have just tossed it to her. You didn't have to do this
instead
insane
of throwing
shit.
it like a javelin.
Ugh. I think I'm breaking VLC right now. There we go.
Wow.
Oh, what a great place to come back to.
Yeah.
Two of the Dora Milaje trying to execute fucking Lemar because...
What did Lemar do?
What the hell did he
and then
do?
she
Is a
got
great
this
question.
spin. The funny thing is, there's a freeze
to kill a
frame where
brother,
she could
man.
just
That's
stab
not
him
cool.
in the heart, and she just spins the thing. They just do these stupid spins when it's like, oh, you can kill him if you really want to, which clearly you do.
This scene is absolutely
Let me show you what I mean.
one of the hardest
Let me
ones
see
to
if I can
watch.
get the freeze frame. Yeah.
Man, for a show that's
Yeah,
so
there it is.
obsessed with like black people and black characters, they don't give a fuck about Lemar, do they?
No, he's the punching bag black character.
He's a black colonizer.
I mean, this is
How
the
the
episode where he
fuck?
dies, so...
He has
Yeah,
fallen
while all
under
of
the
this-
sway of the white devil.
While all of this is happening, fucking Sam and Bucky are like, oh, we should help. It's like, oh,
Well-
really? You think so?
Yeah, because you got Zemo, right? Who's like having a
Yeah.
drink and just looking at
Which
them,
is
which I
funny.
like. Yeah, because he's like, these
Yeah.
are the people fighting over who gets to put me in prison first. It's like, I don't care. Whatever, you guys do you.
Yeah.
But of course, loads of killing blows being deflected regularly. And I guess the craziest part to me is like, as much as you may hate Walker, what the fuck is Lemar? Like, he didn't do anything. He just got attacked.
Oh, and then there's the part where her name is Io, right? She sees John and he looks up at her, and then she reels back, ready
Oh,
to
wait.
stab him through the throat.
I did want to.
Oh,
fucking file is
yeah.
like flooping around. I guess because I keep the next frame thing is it doesn't like me doing that. I'm sorry, VLC. Can you please? Yeah. So I just want to make sure everybody acknowledges this. This is the attitude they have. You see how they're just like eh. Two of their soldiers that have saved their lives are about to die. They do not care. And
Yeah, they're fighting for their lives here.
you complain
Yeah.
about assassination like throughout, but when does it get to the point where you're like, no, I guess this is in character now. that's where we're at. They've damaged them so much. I guess this is just who they are now. They don't care about their friends dying. Why would they?
I don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that was clear. Really, really lame.
But yeah,
Go ahead.
that's what happens next. She beats down Walker, and she's got the spear pointed at him, and he's not attacking her anymore. And she reels back to stab him through the face. And the only reason that she can't kill him is because Bucky stops her at the last minute. And it's just funny how later on in the scene, she's like, oh, fuck you, Bucky, not letting me kill this guy who did nothing wrong. Like,
Yep.
that's so evil. And also, she can't beat him. He's a Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he's
a
insane
super soldier.
at this. He's like the best in the. He's arguably before this
Dude.
series like the
Yeah.
best in the world.
Well, this happens really quick, and I think a lot of people might miss it. This is a shot of one of the Dora Milaje about to execute Lemar. She's right about to do it.
And then Falcon, Sam stops him too.
But yeah, just stopped just in time. And I want it to be noted, right? It's really important and good that they stopped this from happening. That's like fucking standard. But they were lucky that the prior like 3 attempts at executions were blocked because they didn't do shit all about them. Which is pretty disappointing. But what can you do? Zemo escapes because everybody in the room is retarded. It's like everybody should care about this, but nobody catches it. This is the thing, the nature of flaws. Like, I'm fine with Zemo. It doesn't do anything for Zemo's character in a bad way that he does this, but it does bad for everyone else. It's like nice.
Because
Yeah.
the entire fight is about Zemo, and they just let him go because they're all just fighting because they're idiots. So it's just like, great job, guys. You let him go.
I don't think I've ever looked at this properly before, but I don't know that just made sense logistically. You know the spear throw she does to lock?
Yeah,
I'm trying to see where it starts. He's there.
let's see.
So she's...
He was really far away from that table when he was standing up, and then he's all
No,
of a
this
sudden
doesn't-
incredibly close.
This does not fucking work at all. I'm pretty sure... Alright, we really need to figure out this room. I need images. If you see where she is when she starts... She is... We know this area, right? This is kind of where she was when we first saw her. So, if the room was a cube...
Oh my god, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, she is in almost one of the corners. the table she's throwing this at is like that angle. She would be here, where my mouse is right now.
In front of her. Yeah.
She would be like here-ish. There's no way she can throw the spear this way. This makes no sense at all.
It like hits sideways. It goes forward and then it hits on sideways on the table. Like
I think it might be even worse than what it comes across as when they cut it. My God, this is the kind of thing that you need like scientists to get in on. Okay, we gotta get all of the people to figure out how fucking floopy this is. And you know, even if it all made sense where they were standing, the luck of getting it through the bands, locking his arm in, and not hurting him at all. It's like. Nice, I guess. It's almost like they're super soldiers.
Yeah, and then there's the part where she then disables his arm. Thanks.
But yeah, it's like a T sort of move. It's forward and then it just turns on an angle, which is impossible. Like that's essentially what happens here. But I think it even makes less sense than that. I think she teleports from where she starts the spear throw to where she ends the spear throw. So yeah, it's bad all around actually. But also Cap doesn't draw his gun at this point. He's got a free arm on the gun side, but he doesn't draw it. You might wanna when you're at this point, mate.
Yeah, you'd think so.
And yeah, quite right. Next up is they disable Bucky's arm because he just lets her.
Yeah,
and then he's just stunned.
For what crime? The crime of preventing you from murdering somebody.
Yep.
Well, touching her on the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm saying
that, yeah.
His crime, Bucky's crime, was stopping her from murdering Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Violently. But there wouldn't have been any blood. The spear would have gone through his eyeball, and then she pulls it out, and it would be totally clean. And they wouldn't play ominous music with her standing over his corpse.
And of course, she's like, she says, "Bust, damn you, James," and it's the most I've wanted to punch a character through the fucking screen. Just like, I hate you. You're so wrong, and you're so morally righteous at the same time.
Stopping me from murdering this guy who touched me.
And like I said, Zemo escaping, Zemo drinking his drink. Those are kind of like pluses. There's another plus in this scene that I actually like, but go ahead.
I just want to mention again the subtitles for what she says on the official subtitles are "Speaking Wakandan James." That's what it says.
Yeah, she says, "Bast, damn you, James," because the person listening couldn't understand her floopy speak. He just said Wakandan speech.
Wakandan James.
It's pretty hilarious. You'd think they'd have updated that by now, but oh well.
Yeah.
Right, and yeah, so you have this moment where Cap's on the ground, and the Dora Milaje actually take his shield. She picks it up, and he's just pretty much defeated. But the leader says, "Leave it. He's gone," almost implying that they would have taken the shield had Zemo been here or something. I don't know what leaving the shield or keeping the shield has anything to do with Zemo, but yeah, whatever. And a lot of people, by the way, said that they should have taken the shield. It's vibranium that belongs to them.
No, it doesn't.
I was like, oh, do you want to get into a conversation about original places where materials come from means the people who lived there originally owed them? Like, what the where are we going to get to at that point?
I was about to say, I don't even think Steve's shield was, like, forged from Wakandan vibranium. Wasn't it just, like, I think Howard said it was, like, the rarest metal on Earth, so didn't they just get it from random places?
Yeah, they barely had any. I don't think they got it. And also,
well, all vibranium...
You don't own a commodity. You don't own an entire element.
Yeah, exactly.
Also that I was gonna say I'm pretty sure all vibranium came from the comet though, because that's like it came from outer space or whatever. So but like I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care that it was originally in Wakanda. You guys remember, they like to forget this, but you're gonna have to keep reminding Wakandans of this. They colonized the other tribes, so get fucked. You guys do it too. But of course they're gods. You can't be making fun of them. They're totally fine. And yeah, there's this sense in the air. You're like, wait a minute, everybody just fucking lost these guys. Are they really that good? And Walker has a bit of a what you could call like an audience moment, a meta moment. He's really sad because he got defeated by people who aren't even super soldiers when we were told that this guy is like top tier. So I see it as more, he's like sad at the writers. It's like, why have you done this to me? This doesn't make sense. And I feel really
You
bad
didn't
for
tell
him.
me it'd be like this when I signed on.
Yeah. But like genuinely, because Walker's like one of the only characters that gets like a close to a proper arc, whether or not this show wanted him to. It makes sense that he keeps losing his fights. He's not Point Man, and he doesn't have his jurisdiction that he would now use the serum. I think that lines up pretty well. It's a pity how we got here, because everything's so fucking stupid. But yeah, look at him. They weren't even super soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Which means that you should have won that, which you would have.
But no one can beat those fuckers. I hate the Dora Milaje. Like, Thanos would probably try and, like, you know, turn them into spaghetti with his stupid powers, and then they would be like, excuse me, how dare you? And he's like, what?
Killmonger kind of kicked their asses.
He killed one of them, right? At least.
Yeah, and he slit her throat and there was no blood at all. It was hilarious. Like, it's just unreal.
Well, that's because Killmonger's a good guy. Remember, you have to judge it by blood.
Dude, even in the theaters, though, when I watched that scene, I'm like, what the... She cut, like, you're dead. He cut your throat open.
Well, they don't want to get an R rating. Jeez. It's funny, because stuff like that, it's like, why did you have him cut his throat open then? Like, do something else. Yeah, and then they have a little conversation, finally in their non-combatant clothes, and Lemar basically says that surely getting stronger just makes you more of who you are, which it is a an interesting thing to just talk about, because it's like a lot of people say power corrupts, and it's like maybe it just reveals corruption that was already there, and now that you have more ability to make more choices, you're now going to show your true colors, and that everybody has to worry about that.
I think that's
a
fair observation.
As well as showing that they value like the whole the signing autographs, and the thing is, he's gonna die, because this scene is basically like, aren't we good friends? We've had a long history. This is good stuff. I like hanging out with you. Smile. You're like, Lemar, run. So then the plot sort of just kicks back in, because this episode is very jumbled. Carly calls Falcon's sister, Sarah, tells her that better watch out, your kids and your little doc. Just saying I don't like Falcon working with Captain America. Just saying, just putting it out there. And Sarah's like, holy shit, and she calls Falcon to say that Carly wants a meeting. And of course, naturally, Falcon, like, when he gets there, he's like, what the fuck, you threatened my sister? And she's like, I don't want to hurt her. And you're like, I hate you, Carly. I really hate you. Like, so full of shit. And yeah, this conversation that they have, I feel like the writers ran out of things to have them talk about. They just wanted to get to the fight, but they had to break it up for the two fights. And so he kind of arrives, and he's like, because is this... kind of just awkward. She's like, I thought you were going to come alone. And it's just like, yeah, I didn't. He needs to be here for the action scene, so he's got to... and then, yeah, Sharon's fucking satellite finds Walker, who finds the Flag Smashers, and she tells Falcon this, and then they're like, oh shit, we gotta go. This weird thing happens where so like this I don't know how else to explain this. They're already hostile in this scene. Winter Soldier goes to jump down to the ground. Carly jumps off where she is to ram into Winter Soldier. It's like, whoa, what are we doing? All he was doing was jumping down. You just like, it's just like, it's like, oh, okay, fuck. They don't kill her again though, because they never do. Do you know how many people these people kill across all of the MCU? They never kill the people that they need to. It's like, please end her life. We need it. It's so weird to think, by the way, I don't know how you guys feel about it, that narratively it's Sharon Carter that kills Carly. Does that not feel kind of like, oh, that's not really satisfying in any way?
She got to be the one who killed Carly, like, fuck off.
Yeah, because you'd think...
But they present it as not that great, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they also try to like have a little connection with her and Carly, where it's like, you worked for me, though. We had different philosophies. Like, you didn't introduce this before. Your one
scene. Well, that's their only scene together in the whole show.
Yeah, that's it.
I would argue that the two assumed choices for killing her would have been Walker and why am I blanking? I had the other name in my head. Where did it go? Come back.
Bucky?
Sam?
No to both of those. Who was Zemo? That was it. It was going to Walker and Zemo seemed like the ones that would nail Carly, but I think I said when we were watching it, Zemo's chance to kill her was in that scene that he nearly killed her. He's not going to be the one to do it anymore.
Yeah, and he just didn't for reasons.
Yeah, it would have been way more satisfying for him to just fucking tear through her with bullets, but never mind. So this scene's really weird. This is the building that apparently the Flag Smashers are in. I don't know how Walker found this out. I guess I need to rewatch this fucking show to pick up these things, but he was just like, this is where they are. And so they got the guns out. That gun, by the way, he's not going to use it throughout this whole scene, except for when he opens doors and walks up staircases. That is the time you use your gun.
Yeah. You don't actually use it to kill the deadly evil terrorists in front of you.
Now, these two are off the books, quote-unquote, no backup, in a hostile area filled with people, by the way, that they know can beat the shit out of them. First question is, what the fuck are you doing, guys? Like, you need backup.
Call in some backup.
Call in some reinforcements, yeah. Just one or two people, you know, a little bit of help.
And you might be like, well, Walker has the serum now. And it's like, yeah, Walker does. But, like, even then, you know, you want backup, right? Because this is against more people who have the serum, and Lemar doesn't. Maybe look out for your wingman there. Oh, sorry, that's an offensive term. Your side man. So yeah, there's this weird moment where he's like, yeah, go look. Now these, again, just the two of them. He goes just up the stairs, and it's like a second where he's gone. And then Walker's like, Lemar? Oh my god. And he's been kidnapped. It's just like, what? How did that happen? He's just, and he's been kidnapped, taken to like a shower area, and tied up. It is crazy, like in terms of just logistics. It always is. The show is just like, no, this happened now, and you're like, oh, okay. Well,
all right, I guess
that's
what happened.
That they would go through this area side by side, back to back, constantly. Like, it's just you two. The second you split up, it's much worse. Like, you guys gotta be real careful. So then, I think we just get, like, Bucky and Falcon have made their way into this building as well. Oh, by the way, they leave Lemar with his knife.
It's nice of them.
And how do you think he escapes, guys? It's gonna be a real brain teaser. But yeah, like, I'm not sure why they wanted it to do that this way, I guess. Oh, so this is something I thought was funny when I was watching. You guys remember this one real well, because I think I said, like, I'm going to have to go back and see this, because I don't know how the fuck this happens. Cap starts fighting this random dude in this room. It's almost like an arena room, I guess. Now, here we go. I'm going to have to take copyright off, because you have to see this for what it is, okay?
Ooh.
So, Cap's fighting. Kicked into this wall. He's about to throw the shield very angrily. The point that we're given by the scene is, oh, he's taken the serum, because there's no other way he could have done that. Now, he was just kicked into the wall by this guy. Watch what happens. Please work, frames. Like, I'm mad. Here I go, throwing my shield. So, we're scanning across... Oh! What just happened? Almost like we just switched scenes. That's weird. And then...
Oh, that's so bad.
And that's not VLC glitching out, by the way. That's the show.
Oh my god.
A rough cut.
The shield goes into a wall, and again, it's shocking, and then it cuts back to Walker, and he's like, where did the guy go? It's like, yeah, I don't know, Walker, you just fucking transferred
Disappeared in
scenes.
thin air. Like, he vanished into thin air. He just... Yeah, like, what do you mean, why were you throwing it over there, then?
How did this happen? The guy disappears in the edit. It's insane. Walker's just like, whoa, it's so weird how people can just disappear. I swear to God, Walker's the most aware character I've ever seen when in a shitty show. He's like, why are you writing me this way? Why are you making people disappear on me? Like, what's happening?
You just want me to be bad? It doesn't make sense.
No. Is this sorcery or wizardry? I do not know. Possibly both. Yeah, and then the guy just, like, magically turns back up again and they continue their fight. But I just, that edit is shocking. The guy who did it was ashamed of himself. He knew. He was like, this is terrible. Hopefully no one sees it.
Oh, he definitely knew.
Yeah, and so, Bucky's chasing Carly. Falcon's getting in there, too. We're getting close to the big payoff. Everyone's got to collect up, you know, for the big flumes. Now, this part kind of annoys me. Walker punches this dude through a door, and Falcon sees it. Now remember, You know who the flag smashers are. You know this is a fight. Carly just fucking like rammed into Winter Soldier, by the way. So like this is hostiles now, in the middle of a fight. Cap is walking into the room. Falcon just watches this. He doesn't care. It's just like, what you guys up to? You having a fight?
He likes to watch this guy fight for his life.
It is
do nothing.
Like, this is what I mean. You can't just like point it out as like, oh, this is like a flaw. It's like they make him do this. What are they trying to say about his character? Why do they keep having this happen? But of course, it serves a story purpose. He sees Walker bend a pipe with ease, and even this guy is like, holy shit, Walker's a super duper. And then he gets thrown, and Falcon again does nothing. He's looking at the terrorist on the floor, and he's like, I guess he just fell over. That's weird. And then he watches him run away. Like, I hate Falcon so much. So terrible.
Watches him run away. Right, we're just gonna let him go.
Yeah, well, and it's worse because he's like, "What did you do, Walker?" It's like, are you like unaware of the situation right now? It's like, what? And then Walker has to tell him they've got Lemar. It's like, yeah, Falcon, maybe the situation's really bad and you should be helping your team instead of just going, hey, did you take the serum? How dare you? God, he's so worthless. And so
Falcon's definitely up there with he's really a contender for like biggest idiot in the MCU at this point. Just the most botched character.
It's probably the greatest assassination of the MCU. I don't know that anyone... Well, what do you think, Fringy? Wait, you're muted.
This is the thing with Wanda, you mean? Like, in terms of assassination with her character?
The thing with Falcon is that there's so many instances of it, instead of it being, like, one major one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and him and Bucky, they just turn them into buffoons. It's like a different type of assassination, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I hate when characters just turn into idiots. It's like, what were once competent characters, they just turn into clowns. It's like, great job. That's not good.
It's just very indicative of his morality too. Unfortunately, if only it was him missing his shots or failing to get to people on time because he can't fly properly or whatever. Like, no, just so many scenes where it's like, oh, Bucky doesn't care about people's lives. Sorry, Falcon. Well, both of them really. So yeah, we get to the big arena room. This is the big fight room. It's kind of weird. They turn up, and then two flag smashers try to jump on them to surprise attack them, but don't attack them until they turn around. It's like, okay, guys, strategies. I don't know. And then they pull out a knife, and it's just like they're trying to do more MCU memes. And Walker's like, "Why do they always gotta have knives?" It's like, hee hee, so funny. You have a fucking gun, but yeah, it's fine. You know, don't use it. Just use the shield. Action scenes work. Lemar eventually turns up too, and I think that's about it before the thing happens. What we're all here to talk about today, okay? It's the big scene. It's the one that made everybody like, oh my goodness. So, fighting all over the place, right? Super soldiers versus good guys, and all kinds of beating up is happening. Cap is unfortunate enough to have... Oh, by the way, Bucky has a chance to kill one of them, and he chooses not to. I don't know what the show thinks it's saying. Guy with a knife tries to kill Bucky. I'm showing it now. And he manages to disarm him, I think, and throw him over to the floor. Now, he could throw the knife at his head, but he chooses to miss and avoid killing him. And I do not understand what we're doing here. Are we killing each other or not? Because if you remember, when someone dies, it's very dramatic and everybody runs away. So I don't know what's happening.
They just wanted to punch each other. They just wanted to knock each other out. Like, they wanted to have a fight.
I do not know what everybody's up to in this scene. I figured everyone was trying to kill each other because everyone's gonna kill you if you don't try and kill the others, sort of thing. But whatever, I guess. As we're getting up that tension, though, unfortunately, Cap is grabbed and placed into a precarious position where he can't defend himself if someone were to, let's say, stab him in the heart. Unfortunately for him,
the guy who restrains him.
Oh yeah. It's worth remembering the guy who restrains him.
Look at what his face is.
Yeah, just remember that face.
So here it comes. He's kind of fucked here. Like, Carly's gonna get that shot right in. Oh, look, she's skidding over the tail. Here she goes. Oh god, it's all over. Oh, Lemar, the fucking legend. Gets right in there, knocks her over. Now that's some good old-fashioned action that tells you everything about characters. I'm sure Walker was very happy to see his best friend save his life. Good stuff. Carly, though, he's a little bit annoyed that happened. So she punches him, and he kind of gets his back broken, dies. Sad face.
Weird frame right here.
Lemar is an MVP. You're all right. He is a base Lemar, Chad Lemar.
Yeah, base. Yeah, Lemar. Lemar and Walker are the heroes of this story, with Zemo coming in as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Died saving his best friend. A lot of people don't get to go out that way.
Yep, and so the whole room is shocked by this. Kind of weird. When you're watching it, you're like, wait, but you guys kill people all the time, don't you? You were trying to kill... What was the point of the knives if you were trying to kill them? Were you just trying to spook them with the fucking knives? Like, what is this?
Oh no, we killed someone who doesn't matter.
No. So yeah, such a weird scene, and we already knew what was going to happen when we were watching this. Like, I think when did we call this? It was like when they were entering the room. It's like we were like, Lamar's going to die and he's going to go nuts and do something evil. Like that was that's just it. The thing is, the show didn't make him do something evil. We're about to get to that. So. Yeah, he's like, oh no, Lemar, are you okay? And this sort of allows them to scatter when I don't even know that they would. Feel like if they remember,
kill him now.
Carly is a soulless monster, not just because she's ginger. That's like a bonus. She doesn't want. She isn't sad that Lamar's dead. She's sad that she didn't get to kill Captain America because that's the one that matters. So this is prime opportunity. This is the one where you're like, oh, he goes and checks on his friend. I can fucking kill him easily now. But they all ran away. Now remember, she thinks that, like, what is quintessential to the goal is to kill Captain America. He's like the symbol of everything that's wrong with the world right now. And so this is the prime opportunity. She just runs off. It's like, that's weird. Could it be there is another reason for her to run off? Could it be that they're trying to get everybody away because they need Cap to kill one person in particular, not Carly?
Oh my god.
I don't know, baby. So,
and maybe there was a scene earlier in the movie where that guy, where this one particular person might have said, "Oh, Captain America, I love that guy. What a hero, Captain America. That shield, man, it's great.
Oh yeah,
Captain America. Huh? I like him a lot. Would be a shame if I died by Captain America's hand. That'd be lame."
Now we talk about try to figure out like what scenes are coherent or not. You have everybody in them. You think of how they're there, what they're capable of doing, what they want, all that sort of stuff. Now, there's two people in here that we haven't really considered yet. We've done it for everyone else. Falcon and Bucky. Now, with all of the floopers running away, and they see Walker burst out of a window chasing someone, what do you think they would do as characters? What do you think their next step is?
Oh, I assume they'd help him because he's clearly chasing someone important.
I feel like
maybe they'd ask him what's going on.
Like both Bucky and Falcon would follow him through that window. They'd be like, "That guy is on a rampage. We've got to go. Like, not only look out for him if he gets himself in trouble, but also possibly prevent him from doing something accidental that we wouldn't want him to do." Which, by the way, they definitely don't want him to do the thing that he does because they end up trying to fucking kill him because of it. So, what I'm suggesting is, had they followed him, which I think they would have, the scene doesn't play out the way that it does. Unfortunately for us, they are put in a fridge, as a lot of writers tend to do with characters that are going to get in the way.
They just aren't around anymore.
Yeah, the camera doesn't see them, so they're not there. Shut up. That simple. And so, Walker bursts out of the window. It's pretty epic. And unfortunately for the guy who held him prior... Oh, there you go. They're running after someone, question mark. They just run somewhere. I guess they lost whoever they were chasing because they're both morons and they never catch anybody. But
yeah, they never caught him. They just come back empty-handed.
Cap is chasing. I thought, by the way, that they cut back to Lemar. I thought that they were going to have it so Lemar didn't die and that whatever Walker does is under the assumption that Lemar died. And then it turns out that he's like, you know, struggling, but he's not actually dead. And so it changes the stakes. But no, I guess they just cut back to let us know this is why he's upset, by the way. It's like, yeah, we know. We were watching. Yeah, this bit happens. I've always found amusing when you rewatch this scene. This guy picks up, like, I guess, a drinking fountain, like a concrete sort of type one, throws it into Cap, and Cap just blasts it apart. It's like, so he's already still an active threat. He's still trying to kill you. Like, there's no, you can't really,
he's not surrendering or anything.
but then Cap does the unthinkable. He hits him. Hits him
Like
again.
how he gets him in the back right again. It's hilarious.
Ow.
Yeah, hits him, and then executes him when he says, "Please, I didn't kill Lemar.
I didn't do it. I just tried to train you so that you got stabbed."
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I tried to kill you.
Yeah, I didn't kill him. I wanted to kill you, idiot. You're like, it's not gonna help your case, man. It's
And
really
everyone's
not.
going, wow, look at Captain America kill that terrorist.
It's everyone. There's like a crowd of like 25 people, and all of them have their phones out at the same time to video it. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
how could
If
If
you
fingers
couldn't-
on the camera trigger in there.
Yeah.
and stuff.
If you couldn't gather what they were saying, this is look at this shot. I fucking hate this shot. Look as the
Yeah.
arm falls and the blood is splattered upon it. You're like, yeah, shut up.
Nice
so
slow-mo.
transparent, man? It's just like, I know what
He's
you're
a fucking terrorist.
He's an evil killer.
Just killed
Like,
an
what-
American
Right.
soldier. Why do we not
Like,
care about
what
this?
Yeah, what what the fuck do you think he was doing in Afghanistan? Like
Amazing.
drinking tea with these motherfuckers?
So the best you can say for what the intention of the scene was is that the way he does it so brutally and in public is a bad look, but like killing this guy is clearly the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Or,
but
like,
then the
totally
story comes
justified.
out.
Also,
they're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, they were just engaged in a life or death battle. This guy just killed Captain America's partner. This guy was an active threat. He just attacked Captain America seconds before.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to interpret this scene is: was this the best response? No. Was this a response that you could see happening though? Yeah. Would people condemn
Yeah.
him for it? Not many.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that would be the big thing.
what would probably be the better option? It's like maybe interrogate him, like he's.
Oh yeah, he should have
and-
arrested him, but like this is the heat of. It's more. It's not unthinkable that this could happen, nor would people hold it against him that much.
Yeah,
Well,
you
if
wouldn't
we-
get in trouble at all for this.
we don't really have to
Everyone-
run this as like a what would happen in real life. It was like we can just judge if this were someone's phone recording and we saw this and then we got the context that we have from the show. What would you guys think of this theoretical American soldier in Latvia doing this?
They killed his friend,
Fuck
and you
it.
learn
Yeah,
more.
it's-
Flag
well,
smash
he's a
did.
terrorist.
Yeah,
If someone said, "Do I condemn his actions?" I'd be like, "I think that it's perfectly reasonable for this to have happened. I don't really see how you can judge this man too harshly, considering everything."
Mm-hmm. Like
I
this
was
was
like,
not the
well,
absolute best response. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have. I said, don't do it in public where there's kids around. I mean, be private with it. But I don't really give a shit.
I mean, even to that,
Yeah,
I'd
it's
be
like,
like, I mean,
You don't
well,
have the luxury of where it
yeah.
happens.
Like, before he
gotta
chops
drag
his
him
head off,
somewhere.
he drags him into like a toilet and just fucking takes his head
Dragged
out.
To an
kicking and
alley?
screaming. Ah! It's just like, shut up.
Mommy, what are they doing with that man? It's like just presents. Give it a good presents.
It's not just some soldier though, it's Captain America. People hold him to a higher standard. You mean like how Captain America
Oh,
killed
no.
heaps of people?
I thought
You
we went
can't
over
keep
this
using
already.
argument.
Cap does this,
Cap
guys.
killed a lot of people.
Cap killed Nazis.
Rewatch
People
in
forget
Avengers
that.
when the Hydra guy, or whatever, the mercenary is fighting him, and he tosses him overboard, and the guy screams like "Rah!" as he falls to his death. And he did that in Winter Soldier too, just throwing people out to their deaths. So they get to spend like a couple of minutes falling down to earth, thinking about how their life is about to end. Not a nice way to die, but again, you don't hold it too because they're trying to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
find that
much.
argument pretty amazing, though.
Captain
It's like,
America
hey,
blew up 3 helicarriers with thousands of people on them. True, and they killed innocent people in the process.
So you can't bring that up. You're gonna break people's brains. Like they can't handle this. Like the Triskelion was infinitely worse than anything Walker ever did.
Well, Walker killed one terrorist that he probably should have arrested.
Yeah, in a
instead.
combat scenario, yeah.
Yeah, and Captain America indirectly killed a lot of civilians because he thought it would be a good idea to blow up the helicarriers.
Yeah, because he didn't want. He decided no one should be having the power of those helicarriers, and then in Age of Ultron, he relied on it to save everybody's lives. Like Cap made a huge mistake in Winter Soldier.
And he was judged harshly for it in Civil War.
Which is great. And so don't run this bullshit that, hey, Cap never did anything as bad as Walker. It's like, yeah, no, you're right, he did worse. So, hey, look at that guy.
Worse, and it's not even close.
There you go. I just played the thing. That guy's spine's broken and he's drowned.
Yeah, and of course, the big one, when Tony says we're not reversing time, Cap doesn't put up a fight. He says, yep, that's totally fair. And then he abandoned. Yeah, look at him. Look at him. He is super dead.
Plenty of people.
Please show the whole scene. I want you to show the whole scene of how many people die.
I can show it with the copyright up, but you have to squint a little bit to see all of the kills. He's he just knocks that guy. I don't know if you can see that. That guy just he's gone, and he's probably not going to live.
You need to pull up the Age of Ultron one, the opening scene. I need to see the guy getting dragged behind.
Getting dragged is not bad at all. I would,
but hold on, behind a motorbike.
He's getting dragged to the side over dirt. That's not bad at all.
Oh, man, I feel like
I would much rather be the guy. I would not even close. I would rather be dragged than get hit or kicked or punched by him in any way. That guy wasn't surrendering. He didn't have a chance to surrender. He didn't even know what happened to him. He just died.
Oh, look at that one.
Yeah.
So Cap lands and I guess so. Hopefully I can get this in the right position. Yeah, he jumps down to this lot. All right. This is a surprise attack. They don't even know he's coming. Cap has a choice. He can opt to do moves that are going to dismantle, like the Batman way, right? As best you can, you try and dismantle and knock out. Look at this kick he does to this guy who's just turned around. Look how fast he traveled into that fucking barrel.
Someone said Rags hasn't played Red Dead. Oh, yeah, in a completely different circumstance, my answer would be different. Good job, fucking idiot.
Yeah, to clarify, do you guys... I swear, like, if you don't understand what the point is here, you're being, like, willfully obtuse. It isn't bad that Captain America's killing these people. They're bad guys.
Yeah, that's fine. This is a combat zone. There's enemy combatants trying to kill him. It is totally fine that he's killing these people. I expect him to kill these people. Yeah.
The point is that it's really frustrating when a man is condemned for less, like when he shouldn't be condemned at all, and when the hero that everybody says he ain't as good as did the same thing.
Whose tool he's using, whose shield he's using, did way more. They had to devote an entire movie to that.
Yeah, and I do not want to understate the Triskelion ends this conversation. Okay, over.
Yeah. And again, just watch the first Avenger and look at how many people are getting killed in that movie and in what ways, getting their heads. Well, they have the part with the motorcycle where he shoots the wire and it just knocks them off, when in reality their heads are coming off. It is, again, like in The Simpsons. I told that idiot to slice my sandwich. Your head's coming off.
The Triskelion is frustrated as well because it's not just civilians that get affected by all of this damage. It's all of the people that opted to fight Hydra on behalf of Cap and believing in him in that Triskelion building. Remember, Falcon almost dies.
There are a lot of people who...
Rumlow gets buried. Not that anyone cares.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things that they talk about in Civil War. There are dead people who would be alive when it was the whole Bucky thing. It's like, well, it's the same thing here. They'd be alive if you'd made a different decision.
And so, if we can wipe out this enormously stupid argument that, hey, you know what? Cap didn't murder anybody unnecessarily. It's like, okay, so good. We're done with that. This is no worse than any of the others. It's just the way it's framed. It's the way the camera moves. It's the way the music plays. It's the shocked faces on the audience. The blood, yeah. You could have done this with many of Cap's kills, and you have to be a willfully ignorant audience member to allow the show to tell you how to feel, instead of feeling about these events how you would feel from absorbing them.
Yep. This is really the big thing to take away from this entire show, was that if you watched it and were like, oh, John Walker's a bad guy, it's like, the reason why you believe that is because you're not treating this like an actual sequence of events where you can make your judgments about what's happening. And when the show's doing a good job, they should be aligned. There should be some sort of alignment between between what you're seeing on screen and like how you're meant to be interpreting it. But here it's just, oh, he's a bad guy. Listen to this music. And listen, look, there's blood on his shield. He's a bad guy, right? The main character's treating him like a cunt. He's a bad guy.
No, again, someone said, wasn't the terrorist surrendering? I don't know that he just says, like, don't stop, please, like, standard sort of stuff. This is the thing. When you're, like, literally inches and seconds away from making all of these decisions, I don't know that it should be put upon him, like, morally, that you should have known in those seconds not to execute this man that could easily kill you if the tables were turned.
Example from Saving Private Ryan, right? You have the first one where they surrender. The guy pops up and shoots immediately because it's like the heat of battle. And then you have the second one where the two guys are surrendering and the soldiers have like 10 seconds to make this decision and just kill them because they feel like it. It's clearly one of these is a lot worse than the other.
And to remind you of that Cap kill I was showing earlier, or, well, I mean, it may as well be a kill from Civil War. You saying like, oh, he surrendered. Look at this dude right here. Do you really think that this isn't... Like, when a person is literally dazed and wobbling back and forth, having dropped their gun, is that not the equivalent? Should Cap not spare this man now? He's done. He's out of the fight. No, Cap kicks him into the fucking table. And if you said to me, like, shouldn't you condemn him for that? I'd be like, no, this is a fucking
this guy's not... Being dazed is not a permanent affliction. If this guy gets undazed at any point, he's going to pick up his gun and he's a deadly threat again.
And now, let's go back to this example. You're like, hey, look, the guy surrendered, Cap. Leave him alone. It's like, what if he fucking tries to kill me in a second later?
Also ridiculous that he doesn't. All of a sudden, he's just like, no, please have mercy. It's like, dude, you're a super soldier. Why aren't you fighting? Why are you all of a sudden, like, just helpless?
Yeah. There's, Cap has quite the body count. If you inspect every single example of every time he's chosen to end someone's life, you're going to find plenty of what you saw with Walker. And so, if you find that too, like, think of Iron Man, too. The amount of people he's killed when he didn't need to.
Oh yeah, remember that town that he was in? Like I forget the name of it in the first Iron Man movie. Like he punches a guy up like into a 2-story building and like it explodes when he hits the wall. It's like, yeah, he kills tons of people.
Do you know why that's badass while this is horrible? Because of the music and the camera. Fucking telling you it's awesome.
Framing be everything in terms of how an audience reacts to something.
Yeah, and in Iron Man's case, you might be like, wait, so do you think it was bad in Iron Man's case? So like, well, I mean, you know, these were terrorists gathering a bunch of innocent people and killing them. I don't really mind Iron Man swiping through them. Like, it's you know, not really that bad in my book, no. There's obviously, like, political elements to it, and that's part of what Iron Man ends up dealing with, or tries to, in Civil War ends up going with, but, yeah, this moment was incredibly controversial, and lots of people discussed whether or not, yes, you should consider him a bad guy or not. And I was very worried at this point that he was going to become the villain for the season. Really didn't want that to happen. Like, Carly teams up with Falcon to beat him or something. It would have been, like, the worst shit ever imaginable. But they pulled it back a little bit, right? But, unfortunately, I wish I could skip to when they pulled it back. But something else has to happen first, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but that would be episode 5.
I hated all of this. This, like, might be the scene in the entire series that triggered me the most. I was like, God almighty.
Yeah, I think so.
They full out just assault him and steal the shield, break his arm, and the kangaroo court later on with like the Senate where he just has no say in anything. It's like how is any of this happening? How is he just
that guy tried to kill me seconds before, sir?
Yeah, they're like, give us back our shield. It's like, those guys stole it from me and broke my arm. Like, what do you want me to do?
I'd argue it's even weirder than that. He says he'd like to give his testimony, like, to, like, you know, add to the court, whatever, and the guy, like, in response is like, we already have all the information we need. And it's like, that's not how this works.
We just watched a segment from Every Frame of Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to Mauler's channel to catch new episodes live on Saturdays, and tune into the EFAP channel to see full episodes, movie and TV commentaries, and gaming streams. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for daily highlights, supercuts, and shorts. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to the original videos and ways to support the crew. Thanks for watching.